Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Lulu Spencer Falconeri is always getting herself into trouble on General Hospital, and that is one thing that will never change. She is a Spencer after all. Born to Laura Spencer and Luke Spencer back in 1994, Lulu was played by a series of child actors until the character was aged into a young woman in 2005 and was played by Julie Berman. When she chose to exit GH in 2013, the role was recast with Emma Ryland, who continued to play the character right up until her exit in December 2020, though there's still the possibility of another return. In August 2024, a casting notice was sent out for a character that sounded suspiciously like Lulu, and Ryland admitted that the soap was recasting and she would not be returning to the role. By September, it was announced that All My Children's former babe, Alexa Havens, would be taking over the role in November. Leslie Lou Spencer was named for her maternal grandmother, Leslie, and was nicknamed Lulu because of Luke's involvement with Sonny Corinthos. Laura feared for Lulu's safety and even fled Port Charles with her at one point. When young Lulu was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, Laura confessed that Nicholas Cassadine was her secret son, and it was his bone marrow that saved the little girl's life. When Laura later became catatonic following the murder of her stepfather, Rick Weber, Lulu was sent to be raised by Leslie. Lulu returned to Port Charles in 2005, sent to live with Luke and Tracy Quartermain. Lulu quickly fell for her new stepbrother, Dylan Quartermain, and teamed up with Diego Alcazar to break up Dylan and Georgie. After a one-night stand with Dylan, Lulu learned she was pregnant and had an abortion. She fell for troubled soldier Logan Hayes, but after learning he'd only pursued her as part of a bet with Maxie Jones, she got involved with Johnny Zachara. Logan began stalking Lulu, and after she killed him in self-defense, she and Johnny went on the run. After the pair split up, Lulu agreed to a date with Dr. Matt Hunter, but soon found herself going out with mob soldier Dominic Pirelli. She soon realized he was a cop, and when he saved her life, she got him to confess that his real name was Dan Falconeri. Learning he was after Sonny, Lulu feared for his safety and tried to talk him out of it. Crazed artist Franco kidnapped Lulu and strapped her to a bomb, but Dante came to the rescue. After Sonny shot Dante, Lulu professed her love for him as he went into surgery. Although she'd been working with Maxie at Crimson, Lulu quit to take over running the Haunted Star after her father left town. She followed Luke to a brothel in Florida to bring him home and was nearly raped by the owner. Dante rescued her and convinced her to go home. When he popped the question, Lulu was reluctant, but the couple finally tied the knot. Lulu began working at the evidence room at the PCPD and soon realized Officer Ronnie Domestico was the guy attacking strippers. Ronnie kidnapped her and Sam McCall, forcing Dante and John McBain to come to their rescue. Dante and Lulu began trying to have a child, but she was crushed to learn she wouldn't be able to carry a baby to term. They enlisted Maxie to be their surrogate, but then Lulu was abducted and Dante found her cryogenically frozen at the Cassadine compound in Greece by an obsessed Stavros Cassadine. After being set free, Lulu had amnesia, but eventually recovered her memories in time to plan for the birth of their daughter. Unfortunately, Connie turned out to be the biological daughter of Maxie and Damian Spinelli, who had slept together after Maxie miscarried the implanted embryo. Lulu was furious with her BFF and cut her out of her life. Maxie originally urged Dante and Lulu to take custody of the baby girl, but then chose to keep her, leading to an ugly custody battle. Lulu was devastated to lose her daughter but remained determined to have another baby. In a bizarre twist, it turned out that one of Lulu's fertilized eggs was implanted in Britt Westbourne so she could lie that she was having Patrick Drake's baby, meaning her son, Ben, was really Dante and Lulu's. Unfortunately, told by Britt that her eggs were no longer viable, an angry Lulu blamed Dante for everything and walked out on him. Thanks to Dante's new partner, Nathan West, Lulu was encouraged to reconcile with her husband, and the pair learned the truth that Ben was their son and renamed him Rocco. But Lulu still wanted to have a baby of her own and even had surgery to allow her to possibly carry a child herself. Then, Lulu got kidnapped along with Maxie by Levi Dunkelman and his partner in crime. But when Nathan and Dante tried to rescue them, Lulu ended up being taken again by Stavros, who wanted her to carry his baby. After Dante rescued her from the clinic, Lulu was so grateful to be home with her family she decided to put off having another baby. Lulu teamed up with Dylan to help rescue her brothers, Lucky Spencer and Ethan Lovett, leading to Dante believing she had slept with Dylan. In turn, he slept with Valerie Spencer, and their marriage very nearly fell apart. Dante and Lulu went so far as to finalize divorce papers, but ultimately were inspired by them to recommit to their marriage, remarrying on Thanksgiving 2016. Lulu found herself feeling a connection to Charlotte Cassadine, and it was soon revealed that the little girl was actually her daughter with Valentin Cassadine, created by Helena Cassadine when Stavros proved unable to father a child. Lulu tried to fight Valentin for custody of Charlotte, but only got supervised visitation. Charlotte wasn't a big fan of Lulu in the beginning, but eventually warmed toward her, and Lulu and Valentin eventually came to an understanding regarding custody. Lulu then got hired by Peter August to work as a reporter for The Invader and published an interview with Nathan that exposed his connection to Cesar Faison to lure the supervillain out of hiding. Tragically, this also led to Faison killing Nathan and Maxie, blaming her friend for her husband's death. Over time, the women patched up their friendship, but then Dante left Port Charles to join the WSB to hunt down a criminal who had once tried to kill her. Flying solo, Lulu threw herself into her work, working on a special piece about Ryan Chamberlain for the 25th anniversary of his original Reign of Terror. But what she didn't realize was that the serial killer was still alive and impersonating Kevin Collins, well aware of her investigation. And when Lulu shared some of her information with Kevin, he stabbed her in the stomach. Thankfully, Lulu survived, but Kevin hypnotized her into believing that Franco had attacked her. Thankfully, the truth was finally revealed and Ryan was exposed. Lulu was thrilled when Dante finally returned home after Sonny rescued him from Raj in Turkey, but he didn't stay long. Fearing he had been brainwashed by the villain during his undercover mission, Dante was afraid he might hurt the ones he loved, so he left Port Charles again, leaving Lulu utterly devastated. She threw herself back into work again, trying to discover who had been behind a rash of break-ins in the area, which led to her meeting Dustin Phillips, a handsome school teacher. They went on a few dates and quickly fell into bed together. Lulu's truce with Valentin hit a major snag when she learned that he paid Sasha to pretend to be Nina's long-lost daughter and decided that the truth should come out at Valentin and Nina's wedding. Lulu remained wary of Dustin, especially when Brooklyn Ashton returned to Port Charles and their rivalry reignited as she learned the two of them shared a past together. Realizing how much their constant fighting was affecting Charlotte, Valentin and Lulu agreed to do better. Things with Lulu and Dustin were going well enough for her to invite him to move in with her, but that's when Dante unexpectedly returned to Port Charles and threw a monkey wrench into the works. Dustin was actually about to pop the question over dinner at the Floating Rib when a bomb suddenly went off. Lulu seemed okay as she rushed to the hospital with Dustin, who soon perished from his wounds, but that quickly changed. Although mourning Dustin's death, Lulu tried to confess her lingering feelings to Dante, but suddenly collapsed. Due to a serious brain injury from the explosion, Lulu required immediate surgery and fell into a deep coma. After her friends and loved ones said goodbye, Lulu was sent to a long-term care facility. In July 2023, Dante brought Charlotte to visit her mother, and she shared some of the recent events in her life, while also tearfully begging Lulu to come back to them. Afterward, Charlotte urged Dante not to let his and Lulu's old home continue to sit empty, and he later rented it out to Maxie and her family. Then in August 2024, Laura received a call from the clinic and worried that her daughter might die. Lulu's liver was failing and she required a transplant, but because she was in a coma, she wouldn't be at the top of any list. Sam turned out to be a match and donated a portion of her liver. But while Lulu accepted the transplant and recovered, Sam died following the surgery. Laura begged Lulu to wake up so they wouldn't have to send her to Turning Woods. But it wasn't until Lulu was in Turning Woods that she regained consciousness. Before she could buzz for a nurse, Cyrus came in to visit her. As he promised to take care of her, Lulu recalled how he threatened her before the explosion. Pretending to be unconscious, Lulu overheard Cyrus arranging to transfer her to another facility, so she created a distraction and managed to escape. After hitching a ride with Cody Bell, Lulu tried to go home only to run into James because Maxie's family was living there now. Confused, she went to the Quartermain mansion where she was reunited with Rocco and Dante. After adjusting to how much time had passed while she was in the coma, Lulu soon became determined to find Charlotte and bring her home. She confronted Nina, but she didn't know where Valentin would have taken her. Carly put her in touch with Jack Brennan at the WSB, who offered Lulu a burner phone, but Valentin didn't answer. After catching up with Gal Paul Maxie, Lulu then broke into Windermere to look for clues and was caught by the police, but Dante took over and helped her search. At Christmas, Rocco handed his phone to his mother and Lulu was stunned to hear Charlotte on the other end. Immediately flying to Prague, Lulu didn't realize she was being tailed by Brennan's assistant, Colette, who followed her all the way to the cafe where she reunited with Charlotte. Valentin interrupted and he and Lulu argued about what was best for Charlotte until Dennis showed up, having followed behind. After a sniper shot at them and missed, Valentin took off with Charlotte and dumped the tracker Lulu had put in her daughter's bag. Frustrated, Lulu lashed out at Dant for bringing trouble with him, but he pointed out that given the timing, the sniper, who was Colette, had followed her. Back in Port Charles, Lulu decided to get a job at Deception so she could take care of Charlotte once she was home, even as Brooke Lynn's assistant. Although Maxie and Brooke Lynn were reluctant to do it, Tracy overruled them and hired her on the spot. After Laura had a heart-to-heart with her daughter about her feelings for Dante, Lulu apologized to him and offered to listen as he opened up about Sam and her murder.